Hi there, me Michael here. Today I'm going to do a different video, as it says in the title of the video. I'm going to be making the I think it's the first official dagger that Jin Sung Woo, I believe would be his name, I believe it was his name. I haven't read Solo Leveling in a while, but his first dagger from Solo Leveling. I did start it, as you can tell, but then I decided to make a video out of it. So I'm going to give a short summary of how I've gotten to this point, and then record all progress afterwards. So, obviously I started with a reference photo and a template. The template will, look like this. Now, obviously this seems a bit larger than this because, there's a blade part to it, which means I just took this and drew out a bit extra. That's about how it went. So I figured out the logistics of sizing with this and a handle made out of basically 2 aluminum pipes from an old storage unit that my parents had held by aluminum pipes. I have a bunch of them, I'll be honest, and I thought one would be enough. And then I said no. Then there's 2, for 2 of them taped together for a handle, and then I added an extra one because it only the thing goes up to like about there. The handle's about there, and then I added an extra pipe so it goes up to there. So it adds an extra stability to it, so then it's not just flimsy if I punch it. I was going to punch it, but you know what I mean. Sorry if it seems like rushing, I don't want this video to be about 20 hours long. But I started with the handle, so I taped these 2 together, and then took about ½ an inch off the top, and sawed about halfway through that, downwards and that way, through about halfway there, ½ an inch downwards, and halfway down the pipe went that way. It's hard to explain without a pipe, so let me get one. So, example, I took 2 of these, took about that much off, went about this far, went about halfway into it, and that way, and then 2 of those, it's hard to explain, sorry for the noise. So basically it ended up like that type of thing, like you're using chopsticks. You imagine your groove out, and you stick this into that groove, right in the middle. And that's basically what I did to make the tang for this. So I hot glued this part to this part, and that's all really for the tang and the handle so far, other than putting a piece of cardboard at the bottom so then I don't cut myself, because I did have to cut these with a handsaw. So if someone is trying to follow this as for some reason a tutorial, I wouldn't suggest it, because this is probably going to look out worse than some from like 3D printing, but this is obviously from cardboard and aluminum technically, but you know, good enough, right? So 3D print is probably better because it will have a better finishing result, but this is obviously what I'm able to have at this point in time. Also, you may be asking why I'm showing this part, practically only this side, because this side looks better. You can actually see the blade fully and not just nothing practically on this side because it's all one colour. Where this side, this bit's white, which means you can see the brown easier, because that pops up because obviously dark colours will pop against lighter colours. I'm not racist, you weirdos if you think that. I'm just half staring at myself for no fucking reason. Anyway, sorry, I'm ranting. So I measured the handle of how far I would like that to go into basically the blade, and then if you look, I believe originally it was going to go to there, but now it goes on to about there. Then I drew the detailing, so that would be the scale here. I would scale tail or something like that. That detail there, and this detail here, proportion wise, so where I want that to go on the handle and that to go on the blade. That is also why they are glued on separately, especially this one. And then obviously made the spikes, because they are technically fangs, I believe. So I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's something fang. It's from the huge snake that Song beats with his bare hands. It's a moment. But then from these two, I made the blade itself to those dimensions, as well as the handle. There is one thing that is missing, is obviously the handguard thing, but I will make that towards this handle, where that goes down to where this sticks out. I haven't exactly made that yet, so you'll see me make that. This is probably going to be a long fucking video, isn't it? Me realising it's going to be a long fucking video. So, that's the only thing I haven't done, is that part for the main body. And then the tail, I'm going to call it the scale tail. The scale tail will be 3D out of clay, which yet again you'll see later. So, yeah. But I just traced this out, this template shape, onto multiple pieces of cardboard, like these. These are Amazon packagings. Wonder where I got that from. If you couldn't tell, I'm talking about manga. Basically, I picked up a lot of thin cardboard like this. You can use cereal box cardboard if that's the only thing you got. But I've collected a lot of this type of stuff from, well, manga, because of my manga hauls. I don't just make it for videos, just in case some people are wondering. I do enjoy reading manga. I collected manga a lot before I started this channel. I just do it just because it's something fun to do. So I had a lot of them, and I just copied out the template. I don't know if you'll be able to see it properly. I only was able to do 2 on per thing, but... God, sorry. As you can see, I just copied out the basic template. And then with some of them, I think about 4 of them, I think it was about 4 or 5, I just made this part up to, I think it was about here, where my fingers are, a little bigger. So then it looks like, instead of going, say if I was working with EVA foam, you would do all the layers the same. So you would trace them all out, cut them all out, stick them together. Then, if you're working with EVA foam, it's easier to get an X-Acto knife, trace out the handle shape, cut that out. Then you glue the piece together, you trace out 2 more shapes, then you stick that on so you can seal the handle, and then you cut a beveled angle diagonally along where the blade edge would be to stimulate obviously a sharpened blade. But due to this is cardboard, what I've had to do is basically have the original template, then make it a little bit thicker, or bigger, sorry, so then it looks like there's a protruding blade, and then if you put masking tape where it goes diagonally, it looks like, where if you put detailing in, like ridging your finger, it'll look like you have angled that bevel, when really you haven't. And obviously this is quite thick, but it's also very heavy. It's also very heavy, I couldn't tell if you hear me, so I'll just say it properly. This sounds like rambling. I'm very sorry about rambling. It's a bleh at this point in time. But what I did instead of doing the EVA foam route was make the template, as you saw, trace it out, and then each individual one I've traced out from these, I trace a handle markings, except 2 of them, and cut all of that out. So I was left with thin type blades with basically the handle cut out of them. So then I could fit the handle in, glue it, then glue out pieces like this, where the handle would be. So then it looks like the handle is completely different-ish from the blade. Granted, it is blade heavy, as in if I do this, it'll naturally want to do that, so it is front end heavy. That's why you've got to add a pommel, which I will be doing. It probably won't be as heavy as this, because I'm not exactly smart, but it'll also be made out of cardboard and multiple layers and there. It's going to be a pain in the backside that you'll see. You know what? This probably will be a part series, not monthly, throughout the month, because I'm not going to be that consistent. I also won't be that energetic to do it. So, yay. Anyway, back on topic. So that's what I've done instead. So it gives the illusion of everything being separate and tidy. Obviously you've heard about the blade. So what I'm going to do, and what you'll see, is me even out this portion, because in the template this is straight, because that's where my hand guard will be placed on. Granted, I'm going to have to work out how thick this is, which is going to be a pain in the backside as well. Then I know how thick I need to make the other hand guard, so then I can stick that on properly and it's not going to be too thin or too thick and it's going to be a pain. But anyway, oversimplifying things. You'll see me now try and level this so I can make my handrail straight, my handguard straight, then I can attach onto this. Anyway, let's get into it. So, for, well, me evening this out, I'll be using I think it's a box cutter. So, if you are under the age of 18 or not trusted with knives, please ask for parental position before Sorry, English is difficult. Please ask for parental supervision before using anything like sharp objects, like a blade. Like this, I am allowed to use one, I'm not a trained professional, and I never will claim to be. Okay? Anyway, I'll be working on making this quite flat, because, well, it's quite at an angle. I don't know if you can tell, but if I put my blade against it, it's at an angle instead of straight. I think the best way is to grab a straight object so you know. It's gonna look really weird, but I don't know if you can tell. There you go. See? At an angle. Anyway, give me a sec. Oh shit, fuck. My language. I was listening to video in time skip. But time skip? Speed thing. But I've now gotten it flat, I believe. As flat as possible. Yes, flat. Huzzah. It's a pain in the backside, but I did do it. I got that flat, so now it's going to be the, well, drawing phase, etc. So, let's have fun. Alrighty then, so I have some reference photos up above me on Google on my laptop, and I now found out the name. It's kasakas venom fang. I'm definitely not pronouncing that correctly, but I have a pencil reference photos because I'm now going to make the hand guard. So we shall see how this goes. Don't know if this will be fun. So, I finished the design for the handle. It's a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be, but now I think about it, this is also bigger than I thought it was going to be. So, I think it went through an iteration, but just imagine it, yeah, like that. I think it's well balanced, looks-wise, for what it is. So, I'll finish this in this part, and the next part will be uploaded next week. But anyway, let's finish this handle. It's gonna be a pain, because I may have to do like what I did for that ish, as in make 2 definite layers for the top so it looks nice, but then may have to split it into sections, which will be a pain in the arse. But anyway, let's see what I do. See you. Hi there. Some time has passed since the last one, mainly because 1, I've got this done, and 2, it's 10:53. Started recording at about 2. Granted, I've had dinner in between, but this has taken me so long. I don't know why I sent it to myself. I've burnt myself too many times. My back feels like I am 83. So, with further ado, I now need to attach this onto this. And yes, I have already straightened it and tried and failed to glue this. mainly because I forgot to film it. But I have straightened it again, so hey, I got to do this. So that's what it should be like once it's glued together, but we shall see. Righty then. So, got a hot glue gun, got the grip and that. Time to get gluing. Sorry if you can't see much. This probably won't be a time lapse just to see my struggle. And you can tell I'm going to glue the absolute living hell out of it. Try and make sure it's straight. It's going to be the painful part, because I've got to do this, and then I've got to put glue around the joint, which is going to be a pain. Ugh. Pray. Right. Gonna press hard, but the muscles I barely have, and about to stick more. And yes, this is real time, because pain is pain. Now I wait for like 5 hours, because this has been on for like 5 hours. Bet you wish this was time lapse, and so do I, because it's going to be a bitch to render later. Just smoothed it out a bit. Still got more time. So you know what? I'm gonna time lapse the rest. Hi there. So, this is far in the future from the last clip you've seen. It's a couple of months. Well, about a month. You may be asking why. I forgot to record an end clip. Thanks, me. Same thing for the second parts of this show will be fun, because I'll probably have to record 2 of these. But, don't know if you can tell, but I started to edit the video. Forgot I didn't have an end clip. Basically, I've glued that part on, and the next part will be the pommel. So, enjoy the next video. Peace out, lads. Also, sorry, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment any useful things, and hey, if you enjoy it, I know this ain't normal, I normally do things like manga falls, but hey, if you like content, stick around for at least the next episode. But anyway, see ya.